Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the Kern High School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Scott.
And in studio with us we have Gurnoor. And Gurnoor, if somebody wanted to get a hold of us at Do the Math, what would they do?
For math homework help, call in Bakersfield 636-4357, toll free 1-866-636-6284. Email dothemath@kern.org. We're online at dothemathonline.net. And on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
That was pretty easy, wasn't it? That's going to be the easiest thing you do for the rest of the hour. Did you know that? Do you know why you're here today?
Yes, to do the math.
You're going to be doing some math problems, right? First of all, why don't you let everybody know where you go to school and what grade you're in?
I go to school in Stockdale Elementary, and I'm in 6th grade.
And you have an opportunity to go to Camp Keep this year, correct? Mm-hmm. Have you heard anything about this, or do you know anything about it?
Camp Keep?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What do you know about it?
I know that we're going to be going on like February 2nd, I think so. And it's going to be a week-long trip without your parents, like unless they want to come as like the chaperone. And you're going to live in a, sleep in a cabin up your, and yeah.
A lot of stuff's going to be going on.
Lots of stuff.
But I know that you said without your parents, right?
Yep, without my
Is this
parents.
going to be the first time you're away from your parents for that long?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a lot for many 6th graders that go over there for the first time. 6th grade is all going well so far this year?
Yes, really well.
Really well. Well, good. Well, let's get to the board and start doing some work then.
Okay.
All right? So head on over there with Scott. We're going to show one of the homework problems that you're working on. And it says, which of the following expressions is the same as r plus r plus r plus r plus r? So we have 5 of them, Scott. And we have some options. We have r plus 5, 5r, 4r, r plus 4. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, take it away.
I think we are. Okay, what do you want to do in this problem? What should we do and how do we approach it?
It's very simple. You just have to count like how many R's there are, and like let's say, like right now there's like 5 R's. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be R plus 5, then that would be 6. So I think it would be 5R.
Gotcha. So first of all, you counted the R's, and so you're eliminating these two, which I think is a good idea because the 4 is not going to work out very well. Now we have to decide between these two here. Tell me this. Do you see any numbers in this initial expression?
No.
No. Is there any numbers we could put in there just to figure out how many R's we actually have? In other words, we have variables here, right? And the number that comes before a letter or a variable is called a coefficient. We don't have any of those. But if we did, what would be the coefficient on this R in the beginning?
I think that would be a 5.
It could be, but we don't see it. If we don't see it, then we wouldn't want to hide it.
Yeah.
So if you don't see a number there, for instance, how many R's are right here in this expression?
5.
This one, just the first one.
Oh, 1.
1, that's right. So in other words, you could put a 1 there, right, and have it say 1R. And how about this one right here?
You only have 1 R.
There's 1 there. And then how about this one?
1.
Uh-huh. So you see where this is going, right?
1.
And the reason that that's important is because sometimes you'll have an expression like 3R plus 4R plus 5R, and you can add the numbers together. We can do the same exact thing here as long as we have some numbers in the front, right?
Yeah.
So now, can you just count them up just to make sure we have what we need here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it. So now we definitely know the 5 is correct.
Yeah.
Tell me why this one is not correct.
Because it's not correct, because if we would add R with 5, it would be 6, which is not 6.
Gotcha.
We don't have any 6.
Okay, and so these are actually two distinct things, right?
Yeah.
So if you think of like R as a rabbit, this would be like 1 rabbit plus $5.
Yeah.
Well, we don't even have any dollars up there. But this one says 5 rabbits, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely agree that this is the answer to this problem. Here's the one thing I do want to make sure you're clear about, though. If you had R plus 5, or 1R plus 5, or 1R plus $5, let's make sure we don't put those things together. Because that's like adding a rabbit and $5. You put them in a box, you mix them all up, and what do you have? You still have a rabbit and $5. It doesn't matter how much you mix them up, right? And they don't go together. So we don't ever want to put those two things together because they're actually separate terms. But we can put these together because these are all terms that have a similar letter or a similar variable. Okay?
Yeah.
So I like the way you explained the way you did that problem. Good job.
There you go, nicely done. I dare say if you put a rabbit and $5 in a box, you won't have the $5 in the same form as it is
That's probably
at the
true.
first. Anyway, nicely done. Come on over here, Gurnoor. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30 most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year, as we do today. And it is time now for today's Math in the News. And in studio with us right now, we have Brian Miller, and Brian Miller is from ROC. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Thanks a lot for coming here. I know this is kind of the middle of your work day, so we appreciate you taking a break from work and coming to hang out and be on worldwide TV now with us.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Anyway, so you are with ROC. So explain to everybody, because there are a lot of students that are familiar with ROC, but probably as many that are not.
I agree. So ROC is the career education school for the Kern High School District. So any junior or senior in any of the schools in the district are eligible to come there during their junior or senior year and take a half-day program in a wide variety of different careers. We have 33 different types of programs: medical programs, business programs, industrial technology programs, robotics, computer coding, all kinds of things, opportunities for students so they can come in there and learn the skills that they might need to pursue that career and kind of get going on that career path.
Okay, so you need to be a junior or senior in high school. So if there's, like Gurnoor's in 6th grade, and then obviously other kids in junior high, if they found something interesting at ROC, is there anything they could be doing before they're a junior or senior to get ready for this? Definitely.
So students that are in junior high, for the last 4 years, we've been offering junior high summer camps out at the ROC, and that's something that we're going to be expanding. We're getting ready to open a new campus in Southwest Bakersfield called C-Tech. So at both schools next summer, we'll have summer camps available so students can come and take a week-long class in some kind of career opportunity that they want to learn. And then when they get into high school, really students just need to make sure that they're staying on top of their coursework and start talking to their counselors. We have career techs that go out to all the campuses. They're there every couple of weeks talking to kids about ROC.
Okay, and we can see some of the programs right here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about fashion merchandising?
Yeah, so that's the program. Fashion is one of our programs that we have there. And so students learn about the fashion industry and the skills there. You're looking at the video game design program there as well. And so students learn how to build video game design, video game programs on industry software. This is our sports medicine program. So kids interested in being maybe a physical therapist or an athletic trainer come in there and start to learn what it takes to do that.
And you have 33, is that correct? Different
Correct.
programs?
We do. Yeah, we've got something for everyone. There's our robotics program. Great opportunity to learn how to code and work with robotics and see how those work with automated systems as well. So really a wide variety, try to have something for everyone and stay up with what our local industry needs are.
Are there programs that are more popular?
Yeah, well, most of our programs are impacted, and what that means is that we have a waiting list for most of our programs. But the healthcare programs are always highly impacted. Law enforcement's another one that students have a big interest in as well.
Okay, Gurnoor, do you have any questions for Brian while he's here?
Yes. Do you have any new programs coming up?
We do. Actually, next year we're starting 2 new programs that'll be at our new campus, C-Tech. One's called Careers in Education, and so that's for students that are interested in being teachers. So they'll give an opportunity to learn what it takes to do that. They'll also get to do an internship. And then we're also starting a logistics and distribution program. And so that's for people that are interested in going into learning about supply chain logistics, really how things get from one place to another. That's a big international logistics. You think about how your milk gets from the farm to your house. There's a whole line of work that's involved there that kids can learn about and get trained for.
Well, you know what, we certainly do appreciate you taking out some time, coming to tell us a little bit about ROC, some of the programs that they do already have and some of the ones that are coming up. And briefly, again, really quick, you have a new campus going on,
do.
Southwest Bakersfield, I believe it's by Independence High
Right
School.
next to Independence, yes.
And are there going to be things that are focused there?
Yeah, so we're moving, all of our healthcare programs will be there, all of our technology programs will be there, our fire technology program, and then our logistics program as well. We've got a couple others there, but those are the bulk of what will be there. So about half the programs that are at ROC right now are going to move over to that campus starting next year.
Are they fighting to get over to the new campus?
No, because we just remodeled ROC too, so there's a lot of fun stuff there too.
No matter where you're at,
everyone's happy right now.
All
Yeah,
right,
everyone's happy.
We certainly are happy that you took out some time to come and visit with us on Do the Math today. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30 today. That is today's Math in the News. And speaking of ROC, we're going to go visit right now one of the programs with Kern Schools Federal Credit Union at Frontier High School.
We are live today at Frontier High School visiting the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and I am live today with branch manager Lucinda Espinoza.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started with Kern Schools?
Okay, well, I started in Kern Schools back in 2006. I started as a teller, and then from there, I just kind of moved up, and then I got an interest in the high school branches, and then from there, you know, I would help out with the high schools and cover for the other managers when they were out for the day, and then eventually, you know, I got my branch.
Now, can you tell us how long has the branch been here at Frontier High School?
The Frontier High School branch was open in 2014, so I believe this is our 6th year we're going on.
And you've been here with the branch since 2014?
Correct. Yes, I opened the branch back in 2014, so and I've been here since, and I love it.
Can you give us a little bit of history, why you're located on the campus? You're not only located here on this campus, aren't you also located throughout other high schools?
Correct. We have 5 total branches. So we have West High, we have Ridgeview, we have Stockdale, ROC, and then Frontier is our 5th branch.
How did that get all started to be on the high school campuses?
Well, Kern Schools originally started at BHS. A bunch of teachers got together, put money in a shoebox, and then it's grown ever since. So we stay incorporated with the high schools because that's where we started.
Okay, tell us a little bit something about what you guys do. What does your daily routine look like?
So our daily routine is our students that we have in our branch are our tellers. So the bell rings when it's time to come to class. We open up the doors, students come in, they grab their cash, they get signed on to their PCs, and then they're ready to help members once they're up and running. And we get students, we get teachers, we get parents even, so they're always readily available to help members whenever they need it.
So let's back up to the students, because the students are working inside, correct?
Correct.
So how do they come about? I mean, are there interviews? Is it through ROC? How do they come about being an employee?
Okay, on the Frontier campus, how we do it is we treat it like a job. We go out and we market, you know, to our students. You know, we have announcements, we have classroom presentations, and then they pass out applications. The students turn in the applications, and then from there we schedule interviews. So it'll be an interview with me, the branch manager, and then another individual in the credit union. And we know it's their first time maybe interviewing, so we understand if they're nervous, but we feel it's a great way for them to get started on their careers.
So they're actually do they need to be a certain age, juniors or seniors?
Yeah, to work in the branches, you have to be an incoming junior or a senior. So we market to our sophomores during the springtime, and as well as our juniors to staff our branches next year.
Okay, can we quickly see the inside?
Definitely, yes. Go on in.
like a full-on little bank.
Correct. We have our teller windows, our PCs, the students come in and then they sign on, and the windows have the signature pads, we have receipts. So it's like a mini little credit union on campus, which is really neat.
Okay, so we have a lot more coming, but for now, we're gonna go back to the studio to Mike and Scott.
All right, thanks for that, Mary Lou, and thanks to our friends from Kern Schools Federal Credit Union once again helping us out this year. 636-4357 is the phone number. Phone tutors are available until 5:30, but even more important than that, we have our very special guest, Gurnoor, in studio with us. And Gurnoor is ready to do some more math, aren't you? Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a look at another one of your math problems. Head on over to the board with Scott. We'll take a look at this together. Working on expressions and equations. What is another way to write? So we have 6c plus d plus 5 minus d plus 3. And do you want the options or?
Wow. No, I think we'll just go ahead and figure it out. And I like to do multiple choice problems this way because if we find an answer that we think is right, then we can go check the list of answers. And if it's there, we can feel a lot better about that. That's kind of a neat deal. So the first thing I think we should do with this problem is, can you do what we did in the last problem? If you see a letter all by itself, can you go back and put a 1 in front of the letter? Do you see a couple letters like that?
Lots of letters.
Okay. So this C right here already has a 6 in front of it. You see that?
Yeah.
So we're going to leave that one alone. But if there's a letter that that doesn't have anything in front of it, let's put a 1 in front of it. Okay.
All right.
Just in front. There you go. So we have 1D.
And we have.
See any other ones?
No. Well, I don't know.
There you go, good. And I'm glad you put it there. I know you might have been tempted to put it here or there,
Yeah.
but really this ends up being like a minus 1D, right?
I thought it was a negative.
Oh, it is.
D.
It is kind of a negative, and there's a lot of different ways to look at that. But now that you put the 1, you can see that what we're going to end up with is we have plus 1D, minus 1D, and you can almost probably figure out what's going to go on there. Now, our job in this problem is to make this as simple as possible, okay? So I think what we should do is do the letters first, right? What's the first letter you see in this problem?
C.
Gotcha. And there's 6 of them, right? 6 cats.
Yeah, 6 cats.
Do you see any more C's in the whole problem?
Nope.
Here's the great part. We can just go ahead and take care of that. There's nothing else we can do with that. We're done. What's the next letter you see?
A D.
A D. So how many D's do we have here?
1.
1 dog. Any other D's we have?
Yes.
Well, where is it?
Right there.
Right there, 1 dog. But this is 1 dog minus 1 dog.
Yeah.
What do we have?
So we have 0 dogs.
We have 0 dogs. They're all gone too. They all go away. Okay, so we don't have any D's left in our answer. What about the last part here? We have a couple of numbers. The first number is
5.
5. And what's the sign on the 5?
What?
What's the sign on the 5?
Oh. There's a plus 5.
That's a plus 5, right?
Yeah.
And what about the 3?
There's a plus 3.
Gotcha. So if you have a plus 5 and a plus 3, if you put them together, what do you get?
You get 8.
8. Is that a positive or a negative 8?
I think it's a positive.
I think it is too. Okay, so now we can probably go back to that list and we really hope that we have a 6C plus 8. Is that one of our options?
Well, let's take a look. One of them does say 6C plus 8, but it also has a minus D on it.
Oh, interesting.
So the others are going to factor out something and then find an answer.
Right, right. So as we went back and looked at it, it said there was something on the end that was one of the options. We don't have anything on the end. We're really confident about this answer. Now, have you ever factored before?
Factor?
Yeah, so maybe not. Tell me about this problem. Have you ever done a problem like this? Called the distributive property. You ever done that before?
No.
Okay, well here's how it works. We have parentheses here, okay?
Yeah.
And the 3 on the outside is going to be multiplied times each thing on the inside. So tell me what this is. What's 3 times 2x?
6.
6. And what else do you put
X.
in? X, that's it. 6x, just like that. And then we have a plus sign. What is 3 times 1?
Times 1? 3.
3, that's right. Parentheses mean times. So you have a 3 on the outside, and we're being multiplied times each thing on the inside. Now what factoring is, so this is called the distributive property. It's a really neat little thing to do. What factoring is going from this backwards. So if you were given this thing, could you get back to that? Okay, so let's think a little bit about how we might do that. What number goes into 6 and 3?
1 goes into 6 and 3.
1 goes into 6 and 3. You're exactly right. But if we took a 1 out, it wouldn't change. What else?
3.
3, there you go. So that's where the 3 came from. Okay?
Yeah.
And then what happens on the inside is we have to do whatever we have left, okay? So if you did 6x divided by 3, what would you get? What's 6 divided by 3?
2.
2, right? And we don't want to forget that x. And what's 3 divided by 3?
1.
1. See how we got back to the beginning?
Yeah.
Kind of a neat deal, huh? Hey, so ready? Now you're going to do this for me, okay? This last one here, we're going to factor this. Think in your head, what number goes into 6 and 8 evenly? Not 1,
2.
but another number, 2. Is there anything bigger that could go into it? Does 3 go into both of them?
No.
No. Does 4 go into both of them?
No.
No. Does 5 go into any of them?
Oh, no,
No. Does 6 go into them?
No.
6 goes into that one, but not that one?
Yeah.
So I think your number of 2 is exactly right. I'm going to have you finish this problem for me. Ready? So what we're going to do, we're going to divide both of these by 2. So what's 6c divided by 2?
6c divided by 3 is 3.
There you go.
C.
I'm glad you got the c in there. Good for you.
And
And what's the
then-
sign between them?
Plus sign right there.
Yep.
And then 8 divided by 2 is 4.
Good for you. And if you wanted to check it, you could do the distributive property back to both those numbers. 2 times 3c is 6c, 2 times 4 is 8, and you can get there. So these two answers are exactly the same. We haven't changed any values, we just changed a little bit about how they look. Now let's go back to those answers and see if this is the final answer, or at least it's one of our options.
Right,
Is that on
because
the
what
list?
they wanted you to do is find another way to write that whole expression, and the first one that you've got right there, 2 times 3c minus 4, is correct.
Is that 3c plus
Or
4?
it's plus 4?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it's
you know
letter D.
what? Let's go back. I was looking at it quickly.
Yeah,
So we have 2 of them that are 2 times 3c and 4.
right.
So which one of those would be the correct one, Gurnoor?
D.
D is correct.
I like it.
All right.
Well done.
So you've got a little bit of that. You know what parentheses now mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's take a look at another problem. And this one, we're going to work with expressions again.
I like it.
So we have k is equal to negative 2. The expression is negative k cubed plus k minus 6.
We got some work to do.
Yeah.
Let me see if you know how to do a problem like this, okay? We're going to do this problem in a minute, but let's give a little example over here. What if this problem said, what is k plus 4? What would that answer be? How would you do a problem like that? If k is negative 2, what would you get over there?
I would get 6.
Can you show us?
So k equals negative 2.
Uh-huh.
And if I add 4, I'm get 6.
Okay, now if it was a positive 2, right?
It'd be-
Positive 2 plus 4 would be 6.
Yeah.
What about negative 2 plus 4? Think
So
about
it's
that again.
negative 6, right?
Not quite.
Or positive. Positive 6.
We have all kinds of things going on, huh?
Yeah.
Now we have, some of these are going to cancel out. So if you had a number line, right, here's your 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5. Here we go. Can you show me on this number line, even though I haven't shown you where it is, can you show me where negative 2 is?
Negative 2 is like right here.
And that's on the positive side. This is the positive side, and this is the negative side. Where's negative 2?
Negative
Start from 0.
Okay, right here.
Good, there you go. And you can put a little dot there. Now we want to add 4 to that. So with your pen, start here at negative 2, right? And go 4 spaces to the right.
4 spaces to the right.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, you skipped 0.
That's
Don't
right.
forget this one, right?
Okay.
1, 2, keep on going.
3.
4. Good. So
4.
this is the number that we want.
Oh, okay.
Can you figure out what number that is?
That's a positive. That's a positive.
It's a positive, definitely a positive answer. We have that part. That's good. I'm glad you have the sign.
It's a positive 4, right?
Well,
Or
let's
no,
count them.
it's
This
3.
is 0.
3.
This is 1.
Yeah.
This is
2.
2. That's it. Positive 2. So this problem could be rewritten if you had to. You could switch these two things around, keep the sign with them. You could write it as positive 4 minus 2, right? And that makes it look a little easier because it's just like 4 minus 2. All right, so you kind of have an idea about what's going on there. What if we had a problem like this? What if it said k minus 3? What would you do there if k was negative 2?
It would be negative 2. So I would take down negative 2.
Good.
And then subtract it by 3.
Gotcha. Now you want to do it on the number line again?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That'd
here's
be
your
good.
negative 2. Go from there.
Yeah. Go 3 steps forward. 1, 2, 3.
Now look at this sign here, right?
Yeah.
What's that sign? It's negative,
Subtracting.
right? So that means you're going to go from here and go in the negative direction. So go the other way. So go
okay.
3,
So
1,
1,
2,
2,
3. Now what do you have?
-5.
That's it. Can you write that down? So the number line really helps with positive and negative numbers. Now we get to go back to this problem.
Okay.
Even more exciting. All right, so here's one of the things that I know a lot of my students have a hard time with. This problem has a negative in front, okay? And then you're going to work out this k to the third power.
So,
And then we're going to add k, right? I know I'm just rewriting, but it's really important that we give ourselves some room here.
yeah,
So what goes in place of this k?
a -2.
That's right, a -2. So we're going to do a plus -2. That's kind of strange. What goes in place of this k?
A -2,
A
but
-2, good for you. And we're going to add to the third power. And again, this is kind of a weird deal, but we actually have this negative sign sticking out there at the end, okay? And what's the last number in our problem?
6.
Right, -6, right? Don't forget that part. All right, so we're on our way. Have you done exponents before?
Exponents, I think so, but I don't remember them.
Okay, well, here's our exponent right here. What this means is -2 times -2 times -2, 3 times.
Oh,
What goes out in front?
oh, negative.
That's right, we don't want to forget about that one, okay?
Yeah.
What if we have a plus and a minus in a row?
Then I think that you would times it because there's a parentheses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we kind of have like a 1 here, huh? What's +1 times -2?
+1 times -2, 2.
It is 2. What's the sign on that 2?
A negative.
It is a negative, there you go. And we got the -6 over here.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep on going here. So let's see if we can figure out what this is. What's -2 times -2? Negative times a negative is
A positive.
a positive, good for you. 2 times 2 is
4.
4. So we have +4 times -2. How about this one? 4 times 2 is
4 times 2 is 8.
8, good for you. And a positive times a negative
Is negative.
is a negative, good job. You sounded awfully confident about that. And then we
Yeah.
still have that negative sticking out in front there, so that's kind of weird. How about a negative times a negative?
A negative times a negative is a positive.
There you go. So now we are finally done with that mess over there. It's just +8. Then we said we have here -2, right? And at the end we have -6. Now we've set this problem up now to where I think you can probably finish it up without doing a whole lot of crazy math, because we did all the crazy math over there. Ready? What's 8 minus 2?
6.
6. And what's 6 minus 6?
0.
All of that work,
Was
and we
just
ended up with 0.
Now, don't let it sound like it's a big letdown or something like that. 0 is a number. It has
Zero's
a
a
lot
great
of
number.
value,
Yeah.
right? If you didn't have 0, you wouldn't know where you're going on the number line, things like that. So 0
Zero's
needs
a great
little love
number.
and respect every once in a while.
It's just
right
a fun way to write it, right?
So let's take a look at the options here, Gurnoor, for your homework problem. And it said A was -16, B was 0, C was 4, and D was 12. So obviously your answer will be
B.
B0, all right? And error analysis would be where you would have to find how to get all of those other answers.
All right.
And maybe we'll do a little bit of that later on. But for your great efforts so far this afternoon, we're going to award you with a couple of tickets to the Bakersfield Condors. And Bakersfield Condors ice hockey has begun this season, and hopefully it will be as successful and even more so this year. So have you ever had an opportunity to go to a hockey game?
I don't think so.
Well, lucky day today, it is yours, because you've got yourself a couple of free tickets for that. We'll be back with more right after this. Today we're at Rio Bravo School, home of the Gauchos, and we're here to... We're back once again with the students at Rio Bravo. 5th grade students, we were discussing a little bit about math vocabulary, and now we'll talk about mathematical symbols, because it's got its own little language, doesn't it? Right? When you see a symbol, you know what it means. So, on your paper, let's do it this way. Write down some math symbols. Any symbols you can think of at all that have to do with math. If you think about the 4 basic operations, you should have 4 symbols right there, all right? If we think about the 4 basic operations, what do we have?
A time symbol.
Okay, now that's perfect. How do you want to represent times or multiplication?
An X.
Like this?
Yep.
Is there another way to represent times or multiplication?
You could do a dot.
You could do a dot. Is there another way?
There's a star.
There's a star, so we'll just do that, right? Any other ways?
An upside down V.
So you want to do this?
Yeah.
So that would be called a caret, and we could raise something to a power. So we are multiplying, so we'll take that. Anything else? Have you guys ever seen this? Parentheses?
Oh,
yeah. So don't forget that one, that's important. So there are a lot of different signs to multiply. Okay, what other signs do we have?
Equal.
Equal,
Divide.
divide. How would you like to do divide? Because there's a few on this one.
A line and dot above and dot under.
Like that. How else can we represent division?
Oh, I don't know.
You guys have any other way to do that? How about this? If I said 9/3, that means the division.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you've got that line like that.
You can do like a, kind of like a box, like, but it's not a full box yet.
Ah, see, I've got you. All right. Have you seen a fraction written like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that bar means division, right? This means 9 divided by 3, right? Any other symbols? Have you ever seen this?
Yes.
Yes.
What is that? Or what does it mean, or what do you do with it?
Divide.
I'm pretty sure it means dividing exponents.
Have you heard of square roots?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, here's how that works. If I take the square root of 25, I'm looking for the number that multiplied by itself makes 25. What number times itself makes 25?
1.
Well, 1 times 1 is 1.
5.
So, right. So the square root of 25 is equal to 5. All right? So that's something, because as you guys get into some older grades, you're going to be working with that symbol. Here's one more symbol. And I'll be very impressed if any of you have seen this one before.
I've seen it on a calculator.
Okay, that's good.
I've never seen it.
Exclamation mark.
It does look like that, right? That's exactly what it is. But in mathematical, it's called a factorial. Okay? Here's how the way a factorial works. If I do 3 factorial, okay, that's equal to, you take the first number and you multiply it by all other numbers until you get to 1. So it means 3 times 2 times 1. What does that equal? What's 3 times 2?
6.
6 times 1?
6.
So 3 factorial is equal to 6. Do you see how that works? Yeah. Okay. What I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to make an expression. Okay, you can make an equation if you want. An equation has to have a what in it?
An equal sign.
An equal sign. Okay, it doesn't have to have an equal sign. You can just make an expression. What I'd like you to do is just use some of the mathematical symbols and come up with an expression or an equation. Just make one up. All right, so let's take a look at what you guys have. All right, so what have you got?
10 times 2 divided by 3.
Okay, and I like the way you represented some different things in there. And what, are you still working on yours?
Yeah.
Okay, what have you got?
4 divided by 16.
Okay, so 16 divided by 4,
Oh, yeah.
right, is 4. Because 4 divided by 16, you're going to get a decimal answer. Okay, what have you got down at the end?
I got 9 times 2 equals 18 minus 7 equals 11.
There you go.
100 divided by 5.
100 divided by 5,
629 divided by 4.
Okay, so there's a lot of different ways we can come up with different problems based on the mathematical symbols that we're going to be using, all right? And then we'll go into a next step next time with the 5th grade students from Rio Bravo School. And once again, a lot of fun we had with the students from Rio Bravo Greeley Elementary School. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30 most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. We have Gurnoor in studio with us doing some great work and learning a lot so far today, right? Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to learn a little bit more also. But you know what? We have another opportunity. Let's go check out and see what's going on with Kern Schools Federal Credit Union and Mary Lou.
We are back at Frontier High School, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and I am with Gia Keelan. And how long have you been there?
With the credit union?
Yes.
I've been with the credit union this year, or this month will be 28 years.
Wow, so did you open up the branch at Ridgeview?
No, I didn't, but I was with the credit union at the time.
And what year did that branch open?
It's been open for a little over 15 plus years, right around 2004.
And how did you get involved with Kern Schools Federal Credit Union?
I was a wee toddler. No, I'm kidding. I just decided I wanted to work for a local credit union and applied and got hired. And I've been there ever since.
Did you start as a teller first?
Yes, a part-time teller.
And then obviously moved
I
up
moved
the
up.
ranks?
Yep, I did.
And so obviously has to be a lot of mathematics involved with banking, correct?
Yes.
Can you give us an example of how math is involved?
For example, like with my students, we teach our students to have cash bundles in their drawer. And so like an example would be our bundles for 20s would be 25 20s. 25 20s would equal $500. Another example is our 10s. We do 20 10s, and that equals $200.
So when they have to do these bundles, do they have to count it out? Obviously.
Yes, well, they buy it from our vault that way, and so they keep them in our drawers, they're cash cans that way, and so they know exactly, the amount that they need to have, and so they have to know how many are in a bundle, and so they have to use their multiplication.
Do they have to, when they're taken out of the vault, do they have to physically count it themselves to make sure that, yes, there is this, so that they're balancing and everything?
Absolutely, yes.
Do they have to sign it? Because I remember there used to be straps around the bundles. Do you still have the straps around bundles?
These are smaller than straps, so they don't have the big straps in their drawer, because we don't have that much cash on campus. But yes, they do have to count it. They have a cash form that they have to sign for buying the cash.
Okay. Continue.
Okay,
Sorry.
so these are like, for example, what they would buy from the vault. So total, it would be $700. So they would have to use their multiplication skills to get the amount in order to buy from the vault the exact amount that they want.
Okay, so they have this obviously in their drawer, and at the end of the day, can you kind of go into a little bit about the balancing of their cash box before they have to turn it in?
So each night or at the end of the class period, they have to count each bill in their drawer. We put it on our system and it does add it for them, but they do have to count it. So they are, counting their 5s, 5, 10, 15, until they get everything that's in their drawer, and then they put it into the computer, and then it gives them a total. And so the computer tracks what they should have, they enter what they actually have, and it should balance.
And how long, do they work the whole day, or is there like a short amount of time that they report?
They're in a class period, so usually they're about 55 minutes long. And for like example, at my branch, I have 4 class periods with 4 students in each class.
And how long would you say it takes for them to check out the money and then also to close?
To check out the money from the vault?
Yes.
Just a few minutes. They just say, "Hey, Gia, I need some cash out of my vault or out of your vault," and so I go and get exactly what they need. They need to tell me the amount that they need, and so I go get it for them, give it to them, and they count it.
For students on campuses with the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and again, they have to be juniors, correct? Incoming juniors. Yes. What math skills would you recommend for them to have if they're wanting to get into this business?
Just, simple math. Just addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That's usually all that, really requires to start off in the teller position.
Great. Well, thank you so much for visiting us with today and showing us what mathematics is involved.
Thank you.
We have more to come from Kern Schools Federal Credit Union here at Frontier High School. But back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Mary Lou. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30, but even more important than that, we have Gurnoor ready to do some more math. You ready? Mm-hmm. Head on over to the board, young lady, and let's take a look at another one of your problems. What is the value of the expression when P is equal to -3 and Q is equal to 6? So the expression is 12P minus Q squared minus 7.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be hands off on this one. What do you want to do? Let's do some math. Good idea. What's the first step?
The first step is we need to subtract, but we need to know what the P stands for. That's a -3.
Right. So when you have a number that's right next to a letter, they're squished together. What does that mean?
Multiply.
Multiply. So we'll put a little dot in there just so we remember.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I'll write the 12, and we're going to multiply that times what? What's P stand for up there at the top?
P stands for -3.
Good for you. Gotcha. All right, so then we have minus, and what's Q?
Q stands for 6.
Okay. And then we also have the second power there, right? You want to go ahead and put that in there as well? Good. And what's at the end of the problem?
And a 7
All
right there.
right, time to evaluate.
Okay.
What do you got? What's 12 times -3?
That's gonna be 36, but positive.
Gotcha. When you go ahead and write the 36 down? Tell me about the positive.
Positive 36.
Why is that?
It's because negative
A
times
negative times a positive is what?
equals a positive.
Try again.
Negative.
A negative, that's right. We have a negative here.
Right
So
there.
a positive times a negative is a negative. All right, next, we're still going to keep this sign. Okay, but what is 6 to the second power?
6 to the second power, we need to times that. 6 times 6 equals 36.
36, go ahead.
And we don't need any negative or
Right, because we already have that sign.
Yeah.
Right? Good. And what's the last number we need to put on there?
subtracted by 7.
Gotcha. Now here is sometimes a temptation to make things go away, but tell me a little bit about this. What is going on in your mind when we have -36 minus 36?
Like, do I subtract or what?
That's right. That's a good question. Right. That's a super good question. So that's what's going on in your mind, right? Here's an interesting way to look at it. Let's say that this is the surface of the ocean. Okay. There's a little boat up here. All right. And you're going to dive down in the water. And the first thing says you're going to dive down 36 feet.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And then the next thing says, well, you see some fish a little farther down, and you're going to dive down another 36 feet. And the question is, how far are you from the surface? Can you tell me about what you want to do with those numbers?
I want to add these two.
There you go. The picture helps sometimes, huh?
Plus, I don't know how to swim. I might die. Okay.
Well, it's a good thing that we're only making a hypothetical situation here. So you're going to add them together. All right, let's see what you got. Gotcha. So you got 72. I'll write that here. Now tell me again with the picture, are you below the water or are you above the water?
Below the water,
Gotcha.
so it's
So
going
that's
to be
where the
a
negative
negative,
comes in, right?
yeah.
And we have one more thing to do, -7. So using that example, maybe you can add to my picture just a little bit. If you're at -72, which is right here, right? You're right here. And then you're going to dive down 7 more feet. Draw me a little picture of where you're going to go.
I'm going to go a little bit more down.
That's right.
All right. Oh,
Yeah, -7.
Oops.
Gotcha. So what do you do with 72 and 7?
subtract them.
Well,
right?
tell me again.
Add them.
Yeah, we want to know all the way down.
Yeah. So
from
that's
the
going to
top.
equal 7.
And there's your 72, and you can
Yeah.
add 7 to it right there.
That's
Or you
going
can
to
do
equal
it right.
79.
79? Go ahead and write it down. Last question. Are you above the water or are you below the water?
Below the water.
So what's the sign?
Positive.
Below the water is positive?
Oh, no, sorry, negative.
That would be in the air or on a mountain. Above sea level. right? But we're below sea level. There it is like that.
Yeah.
I really hope that that is one of the answers we can choose from. Let's take a look.
All right. A is negative 79.
Hey.
Negative 65, negative 10, and negative 7. Now, here's what I'd like you to do. Now we're going to go into this error analysis thing, okay? Gurnoor, take a look at B, C, and D. All right, we have negative 65, negative 10, and negative 7. Which one of those would you like to work with?
I would like to work with A.
Well, we know A, but you
That's a
don't
good
have that
answer.
option anymore.
Oh, okay.
So you have to choose from B, C, or D. Negative 65, negative 10, or negative 7.
I think I would choose D,
D?
I guess.
Good
D,
choice.
negative 7?
I
Okay.
guess.
So what I'd like you to do is I would like you to, maybe Scott, leave everything you've got, but erase the drawing on the side
Okay.
and draw a line down the middle. And I want you guys to work on the problem. Probably from where you had negative 36 minus 7,
Right.
and explain how somebody could possibly get negative 7 as an answer to this problem.
Gotcha. Okay, I think that's a really good thing to be able to do here. Why would this answer come up? That's what we want to find out. Let's go back to this problem that we have here. And if you didn't have the picture, right? If you didn't have the picture, and you're saying to yourself, just like you did earlier, what am I supposed to do with this problem? Am I supposed to add these two numbers or subtract these two numbers? What did we do to get 72?
We added these
We added them. But what if you made a mistake
by subtracting
and
these.
subtracting them? What would happen if you got negative 36 minus 36? What would you get?
We would get a 0.
Write it down. And then what's at the end of the problem?
Negative 7.
Gotcha. So if you made that mistake, and we want to be clear, that is a mistake, right? But if you made that mistake and you ended up with 0, what's 0 minus 7?
7. Negative 7.
Negative 7. There you go.
Yeah.
So write that at the bottom. And so if you made that mistake and didn't have a picture or didn't understand how to add and subtract positive and negative numbers, you could possibly get a negative 7 as an answer. You can see where that comes from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
All right, so let's erase that.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and we'll continue. Right, so get rid of the one that was a mistake. And let's go ahead with the negative 72 minus 7 off on the side.
Okay.
And let's see if you didn't do that correctly, what you might come up with.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So if we're at this step, right, we did the first one correctly. We had the drawing. We put the numbers together. Hooray, we got negative 72 minus 7. We're at this point now. And what did you do initially?
At the end, I added these two.
You added them together.
Yeah.
What if you didn't do that correctly?
Then I would subtract.
What's that?
Then I would subtract.
You would subtract. Let's go ahead and do that. See what happens.
Subtracting these two, I would get. Subtracted by 7. Oops.
There you go. Minus 7.
Put a 1 right here, put a 6. And then I would get.
12 minus 7.
12 minus 7 is 5.
Good.
I would get a 65.
65. Can you write that down? And tell me about the sign on that number. Would it be a positive 65 or a negative 65?
I think it would be negative.
I think it would be too. So now you can see how you can make a mistake and come up with the answer of B, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. It is a mistake, but it definitely happens that way sometimes.
All right, nicely done. All right, well, you know what? I think we took care of that problem.
Yes, we did.
But Gurnoor, I think it's important that when you have multiple choice things like that, there are reasons why those other numbers are on there, because one little mistake and you could see that answer, you go, oh, that's what it is.
Yep.
And then go ahead and circle that one right there. All right, clear the board. I've got a brand new problem for you both.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at it together. Keep on going with expressions today. Which expression can also be written as 12? Then we're going to open a set of parentheses, 3D minus 2E, close parentheses.
Okay. I think we've seen this a little bit today, right? We saw it in one of
Yes.
the first problems you did. You're going to be the teacher now. Teach me. What do we do in this problem?
So now we're going to be trying, since parentheses means multiplying,
Good for you.
we're going to be multiplying 12 and 3
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. What's 12 times 3?
is 36. And yeah, but we're also going to get a positive, right?
Okay, I like the positive. Yeah, you can keep that there. Excuse me, teacher, is there a letter that goes along with that number?
Yes.
Okay.
A D.
A D, there you go. Good, 36 dogs. Okay, what's next?
Then we have a 2 right there, a 2, E. So now we
Tell
need
me a little bit about what happened there. Tell me at the beginning, it looked to me like you went 12 times 3, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha. And it's in the parentheses.
yeah.
Do you see how the negative 2e is also in the parentheses?
Yes.
Now, what I'd like you to do is leave everything
wanna
just
keep it?
as it is.
Okay,
Rewrite the problem over on the side again.
sure.
So I want her to leave exactly what she's got up there.
Okay.
And now do it again, but distribute the 12 to both things inside the parentheses.
Okay, sounds good. So let's start off the same way. Can you distribute the 12 to the 3D, multiply those together?
We have 36, it's a positive,
Yes,
with a D.
good for you.
And then, yeah,
And then,
we have the times.
that's right.
So, wow,
Yeah, let's see what
with
you got
2.
there. Okay, go ahead.
36 times.
Well, think about what you're multiplying, okay? Remember, we're multiplying the 12 times the 3. The next one, we want to multiply the 12 times the negative 2.
But wouldn't that be like you got 36, so you would take it over to 2?
There might be something to do at the end of that. Yeah, sure. We'll find out in just a minute. But we have to take care of the 12 first.
Oh, okay.
So we are multiplying. So you were on the right track. We got the 12 times the 3. Now we want to do the 12 times the negative 2.
So that would be a 24.
Show me.
A 24. Right, a negative sign right.
And you got a negative. Good. Does that 24 have a letter on it?
Yes. Any
24 elephants. There you go. Can you combine dogs and elephants?
24 with 36? I don't think so.
Probably not so much. Huh?
Yeah.
You just have a big old mess on your hands. Probably.
Yeah.
A bunch of dogs right around on elephants. But you can see, hopefully, if you think of it that way, you can't really combine those two things. So 2 different answers. Which one do you feel the most confident about that you think is correct? You thinking that one over there?
Yes.
All right, let's see if that's one of our options. Hopefully it is.
Well, I think both of them are going to be options, but then which one are you more comfortable with?
Yeah.
So we have 36D minus 24E, which is what you have on the right-hand side. 36D minus 2E, which is what you had on the left-hand side. So they're both options.
Right.
So now, our dear contestant, which door would you like to go through? Which one would you like to stay with?
A.
So 36D minus 24E. And why A?
Because I didn't multiply 12 with 24.
There you go. So I wanted you to leave that first one so that you can see
Right.
what happened the first time
Yeah.
around.
Sure.
So nicely done. For your great effort today, since it was kind of like, hey, which door did you want? You just opened up the door to a meal courtesy of our friends at Chick-fil-A. So congratulations on that. And we do have one last opportunity to visit with Mary Lou and our friends from Kern Schools Federal Credit Union.
We are back at Frontier High School, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and I have another guest with me, Kiana Nelson, and you are branch manager, again, not of Frontier. Can you tell everyone where you're located at?
Yes, I'm the branch manager at Stockdale High School.
And how long have you been there?
At Stockdale High School, I've been there since 2010, but I have been with the credit union since 2002.
And did you start like the other ladies as a teller?
I did. I actually started when I was a high school student, so I worked on the Stockdale campus as a student, and when I graduated, I became a part-time teller.
And then again, what year, one more time, that you started with Stockdale?
With Stockdale, I started in 2010 as the high school manager.
So there's a lot for students to get involved. You being a student yourself, can you kind of go through that training process with us?
Yes, the current students for the year, they go out to the classrooms and they do presentations, letting the staff or letting the students know on campus that there are positions open. So they go, they apply, they submit a resume, and then we do an interview. And from that interview, we select students depending on how many we need for the school year.
Now, the interview process, do students kind of go through like practices, or is there somewhere where they practice these interview skills prior?
Prior to the interview, there is not. They have to kind of do the research on their own, and that's what we look for. It's students who take the initiative to find out what they should wear to an interview, how they should speak and prepare for it. Once they are selected into the program, then we do go over those skills so they know exactly what they need to do when they go out into the real world, or per se, you know.
So once they get hired on, and it's a class, correct?
Correct.
And are you the same? Is it like a 55-minute class for you?
Correct, yes. At Stockdale and the other 4 campuses that we have, they are on campus and work in the branch for 1 class period of the day. We do have a ROC program where they go for about 2 to 3 hours per day, and they can do an AM shift or a evening shift. So they're a little different on Stockdale campus by just 1 period a day.
So if they get hired on, what is the training process? Do they start automatically behind as a teller, or is there some kind of training process they need to go through first before they're on their own?
They'll definitely go through another training process. They shadow with our tellers that are actually hired on into the branch, just so they are comfortable. We don't ever want to throw them out there and they're not sure exactly what to do. So when they are comfortable, they will be on their own. But they do like job shadowing once they are hired on to as a part-time or a full-time teller.
About approximately how long before they are comfortable enough that you know that they can do this on their own?
When they're students and they come from our program, they usually get job shadowing about a week or 2 weeks. And then they are on their own and they use the cash cans. And of course, we always have supervisors or other senior tellers who are there to help them if they need it. But when they come from our program, we try to get them as prepared so they can go start right on the windows when they are hired.
Is there a limit for students that you take in the class?
In the classes, we do. We are smaller. We don't have large branches like the ones around town, so we are smaller. We usually take around 10 to 15 students, and we divide them up between the class periods.
Can you go a little bit more in depth about the ROC program, because you said it's a little bit different?
Yes, we have ROC program. The students, they actually come from all the school sites around town. We're not able to be on all of the high school campuses like here at Frontier, at Stockdale, or Ridgeview. But with the ROC, any student in the Kern High School District can go to the ROC and work in one of our in our branch there. So they actually apply for that branch, and then they go in the morning from 7 to about noon, and then noon till 3, and they work in the ROC branch. So they still do the same thing that we do here on campus. They're just there at a longer time frame.
To wrap it all up, what is the overall goal? Why Kern Schools Federal Credit Union started this program? What is the overall goal?
The overall goal is to have students prepared for when they graduate, to have work experience. I mean, I don't think that there's any other program in town that allows students to work on a live system, handle cash, and be prepared when they go out into the real world. So our overall goal is to get them prepared. Yes, we want them to stay with us and work for the Kern schools, but if they can't and they leave, to go off to college, then they're ready to work at other financial institutions where they go to school. So our goal is just to get them prepared and be ready for the work world when they graduate.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you letting us visit today. All 3 of you ladies have been amazing. And again, a little token of our appreciation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us on here. Thanks.
And that is it from Frontier High School, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you for that. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30 this afternoon, as we do most Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Gurnoor, thank you for coming in. Did you have fun today?
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun. Well, that's exactly what we want to hear. And until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the Kern High School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.